Welcome to another test at Nord's. It's been a few days, so I thought we'd get started again with something a little bit different, a little bit more sedate. This is the Mercedes Benz 190E EVO 2. Also changed the rig slightly. We've got a stream deck now. This is obviously a manual car, so we'll be using the Frex gearbox and change the wheel for something a little bit more similar to what the car would have in real life. So let's give it a go. I've driven this car a little bit already, and I like it. It's got some interesting habits, so we'll get out and talk about them. As usual, everything's standard. I've not changed fuel or tyres, and it will be cold tyres, cold brakes. So I like to remind myself before I get to T1. Always good practice. So you can tell it's a road car. It's not quick, but for when it came out back in the 80s, this was a fast car. I'm going to use third. It's quite a low gear actually. A little bit too low, I think. Okay, so tyres are definitely still cold, and there's a reasonable amount of torque now. So hats and back slack. Easy flat through there, I reckon. It's nice. Feels good. So you bring in the power, sometimes it goes a little bit more neutral, which is just what you want. So I tapped the brakes there to get it to turn in, and then brought the throttle in. That was fine, just needed a bit of correction. So it needs to be a little bit quick with it, but it's okay. Doing through here. That's fine. I do worry about understeering some cars through there. That's very high speed at times. So that's 200 kph already. Gonna slow it down before we get to Hamburg. Third, I think. Yeah. So that wasn't particularly good entry to Hamburg. Lots of speed left. It felt really neutral though. Struggling to get fifth there. Just getting used to the gearbox position. To move it back to fit the button box in there. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go with second now. Just bringing in a little bit of power. I'm just a little bit nervous about the power oversteer because it does seem to be very responsive to it. I don't want to overcorrect that. It's trailing in a little bit now. It's happy with that. Seems to be okay with curbs. It's all good. Oh, that's nice. Trailed it in there and it started sliding front and back to fourth. To miss and miss. So trailed it initially and then slid in. Tried it on a trailing throttle. And it was understeering. Brought the power and a little bit more oversteering. It's all predictable stuff, I think. Useful having the 3 apexes there for testing that. Downhill. A bit of oversteering power. Turning in nicely. Needs more power here. loads more power. Third gear flat down, and it was slow picking up that hill. Okay, third into Bergerac. Flat down, flat down, flat down. Didn't even move at the back. This car, I reckon, needs another 200 brake horsepower. When the chassis would take it, I can completely understand why people put Judd V8s into these. Is it V8s or V10s? They put Judd engines into these to move into hill climb cars, and they're very quick. So I'm going to leave it at fourth here. Reason being, we're going uphill, and we're not actually redlining. Intermediate curve. Backed off, touched the brake. It's fine. Probably could do that without touching the brake, I reckon. That's okay. That's all good. Second. It's just power oversteering very slightly low. Second for the carousel. It was understeering there initially, I had me a bit worried. Back down on the way out. Should have changed up earlier than that. It's one of those cars where you have to keep the momentum up to be really quick. Okay, this is the interesting section. It's uphill, so I need to be in that lower gear. Again, I think. Okay. Be good if the third was a little bit longer. Okay, that worked quite well. Little flick. I keep thinking I need to change gear, but actually it's going to leave it where it is. Okay, that's fine. It moves around a bit at the back sometimes, but it's all manageable stuff, and it's helpful most of the time. Should stay in fourth there. I was worried about the understeer, but it's actually fine. The tyres are up to temperature. Keep it flat. Okay, it's top. I think maybe fourth for this one. I was doing that deliberately just because it's fun. Carousel. Last corner coming up. Is this going to be fourth all the way through? Should be. Yeah, it is. Run it nice and wide. Turn it late. Then apex. We missed it. Wasn't too bad. We're going to be sub 8. Yes, we are. 7. Okay. So that was interesting. A few things to talk about. Let's do a summary. Okay, so that was fun. I've got a little bit of familiarity with the 190 because my family actually had a few of these over the years, and they were obviously only the 2-litre versions, the standard versions, and this is the homologation version that was built by Mercedes to essentially allow them to run in DTM, and it won the DTM Championship in '92. So a little bit about the basics on it. It's not got a big engine. It's only a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder, 235 brake. it needs a lot more power in my opinion, but it goes very well for what it is. The road version of this only has 195 horsepower in fact. 5-speed box. The one thing I didn't like about the gearbox on this was I felt third was too short. I would have liked that to have been a bit longer, but that's just a criticism based on my driving and mainly the last part of the circuit where it kind of got in the way a little bit for me. Other drivers could probably drive around that. Brakes are really good. It's not a hugely heavy car, so that wasn't problematic, and the ABS was working well. Brake bias was fine, so nothing really problematic there. In terms of aero, it does have an aero kit on it. There's a massive rear wing that you can see, and there's a front air down, a little bit of a splitter as well. I'm not sure about the details of the aero on this car exactly, but I suspect it did produce a little bit of downforce at speed. I wasn't really picking up much in the sim, but I suspect it was there. It was good in the high-speed corners. It wasn't massively unbalanced front or back, so nothing to complain about really. The handling was it was good. It was interesting. It doesn't really suit my driving style. This car, I feel, it's been designed to be very planted and very sticky, and that's very reminiscent of how I remember the 190E to be. It was a very sticky car. It had good road holding and no real vices. I was never in it when it was driven particularly quickly, but I do remember that it did have good road holding. When pushing the EVO 2 in AC EVO, it did feel planted. It did feel sticky. You can get into situations where it will understeer actually quite badly, but it's just a function of the way the chassis has been set up. If you drive it the way I think the car's been designed to be driven, then you're absolutely fine, and that's the same with a lot of cars. The 911 is just like that. It has to be driven in a certain way. So not a criticism. This car is it gives you a lot of confidence, I think, as long as you drive it a certain way. So I found that when I backed off and stayed trailing off the throttle, it would understeer quite a lot in medium to slow speed corners. Bring the power in, as long as you're nearest to the limit, obviously being rear wheel drive, you can balance that and bring some oversteering. Trail braking, it's nice, and you can flick it in as well. That's fairly traditional, albeit slightly clumsy way of getting a car to turn in. So that's fine. It doesn't seem to mind curbs too much. It's nice to see it bouncing over the curbs the way they used to do in DTM years ago. So I would like this car to be faster. I'd like to see a bigger engine in it. It needs another 200 brake in my opinion, to really have a lot of fun with it and move it around a bit more. I found I was a little bit limited in what I could do sometimes with the perceived lack of power, if you like. But the rest of the car is absolutely solid. I would suggest having a play with it, learning what it likes and what it dislikes. I think I've kind of summarised it there, but it's worth giving it a drive. I think a lot of people are going to really like this car. I quite like it, and it's quite fun to hustle. It doesn't really suit my driving style. I like cars to dance a little bit more. But a fantastic road car for the time. This came out in the 80s. The EVO 2 came out in 1990, but yeah, really good. Requires a certain driving style, but I'd definitely drive it again.